Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm wearing the same exact clothes I was in my top 10 of the decade because I'm filming these back to back and I'm doing a lot of talking, but I'm doing a lot of talking that I enjoy doing, talking about great movies. And this is my top 10 of 2019. This has been a very good year, actually. It started out a little slow and has really picked up. A lot of great things, a lot of great indies, smaller movies, some good big movies. There's just something for everybody. Just like I said in my top 10 of the decade, this list is very interchangeable. I've got some honorable mentions and a top 10 that could easily change as time goes on as I watch more movies from this year. These are some of the movies I still have yet to see, so this list could very easily change. But as of right now, this is my list. Here are my honorable mentions. Let's go. Uncut Gems. I'm not going to go too much into this one because Seth and I have a Let's Talk About coming out soon where we go more in depth about this, but good movie. Pretty good movie. Actually, it's probably a great movie. Safdie brothers do it again. Richard Jewell. This is Clint Eastwood back to form. I wouldn't exactly say back to form because I do like The Mule, but he crafted a very good biopic, true story that feels very grounded. Apollo 11. I always have a documentary on my list in some form, and this is just a fantastic one. Truly can't believe the footage that they found for this. It's like 70 millimeter film that looks like it was filmed yesterday. I mean, it looks crazy good, and it's a quiet film because there's no interviews. It's just pictures telling the story, and I love it. Judy, a film that Seth and I saw in theaters, and truly one of the best performances of the year by Renee. She just lives in Judy's skin and really humanizes the lady that was put through so much through her life. A tragic story, but a kind of beautiful movie that I do want to watch again. And The Nightingale from Jennifer Kent, director of The Babadook. A lot of movies get a reputation for being something that's raw and hard to watch, and they don't usually live up, and this is one that did. It's terribly awful as far as the subject matter, but amazing performance by Aisling Francisi, and just very mature and terrific filmmaking by Jennifer Kent. It's on Hulu right now as I'm making this video, so please go check it out right now. Number 10 on my list is a film from the very beginning of the year, I think March, a film I haven't seen a lot of people talking about, and that's Dragged Across Concrete, a film from S. Craig Zahler, who's done a few things in the past. Actually, he's done quite a few things recently, which include Brawl in Cell Block 99 and Bone Tomahawk. He kind of follows the same shtick here with the Tarantino-esque, cheesy, almost campy dialogue, over-the-top performances, some graphic violence. It almost feels like a crime novel or like a pulpy 70s film. Quite long, but Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn give great performances, and I just had a really fun time with it. It's got this really extensive, long climax at the end that is white-knuckling, pulse-pounding. It's a great little film, and I think it's streaming, so please go check it out. Number 9, Rocket Man. From director Dexter Fletcher. I couldn't believe when I saw Dexter Fletcher directed because I remember him from Band of Brothers, but truly a beautiful performance by Taron Egerton. I love the difference between this and a lot of the musical biopics that are out because it feels like a musical. Every song that's in it is put into a part of the movie that is relevant to that song. It's sort of surreal where they just break out into song and dance and bust out these great musical numbers. Taron Egerton sang his own songs. It was truly a very enjoyable, interesting, entertaining musical biopic, and I was just smitten with it when I saw it. Number 8, The Peanut Butter Falcon. This was directed by a couple people, but it's just it's a very simple movie, but it's charming, lovely, it's heartwarming. There's a lot to it that you enjoy and you can enjoy. Shia is fantastic. It looks like he's hopefully making a comeback. Dakota Johnson's great. Zach Gottsagen is fantastic. It's about a Down syndrome boy who wants to go to this wrestling school, and it's just kind of his odyssey to get there. The people he meets, the adventures he goes on. kind of dark at times. It's kind of a stinky film, but one I think anybody with a heart could really enjoy. Number 7, Joker. This was a film that I was anticipating a lot. I'm really not a massive fan of superhero comic films, but when it does something different, when it kind of grounds itself, I can enjoy it. And this is one of the best performances of the year, one of the best performances in a long time by Joaquin. The Joker is such an easy role to give it your all. You can really give an incredible, disturbing performance, but I think that it says a lot, not only about don't treat people shitty, but a lot about our mental health system and how it's faulty. I love the tone and the atmosphere and the grit of this movie. It feels like a 70s movie or an 80s movie. It feels just like Taxi Driver. There's a lot of similarities between the two, and I really love this movie. Number 6, you know it's on here because there's always a Tarantino. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Man, I love this time period. It's kind of the time period where we lost innocence. We're at war. There's riots. There's murders. It's just like a really dark time in history. But I love the aspect of this, of the movie aspect, the TV aspect, the old-timey sets. I love how in-depth it is, how Tarantino sort of trusts the audience to maybe not know everything he does, but at least appreciate it. And I mean, what other movie can you have two guys sitting down watching a TV show, commentating on it, and just be completely enthralled by it? It's just a good hangout movie. It is beautifully shot. Performances are great. It's bonkers. It's funny. Just, man, I mean, probably one of my favorites of his. It was just so well done. Number 5, The Last Black Man in San Francisco. This one caught me by surprise a little bit. A very personal movie, just about a guy who wants to buy back his Victorian San Francisco home that he lived in as a child. And it just has a certain personal identity that is beautiful, really. The movie is shot really well. The music, I think the music is, if not one of, it's my favorite soundtrack score of the year. Truly fantastic and kind of different than what you would expect for a movie like this. But it's a movie about friendship, movie about loss, movie about trying to move on and grow, and I was just kind of blown away by it, and I want to check it out again. Some skating too. Hey. Number 4, Netflix is kind of killing it this year. Marriage Story from Noah Baumbach. I love this movie from the very beginning. Adam Driver and Scarlett are fantastic. They kill it. Oscar-nominated performances for sure. I don't see how they couldn't. Everybody in the movie is really good. Laura Dern, Alan Alda, Ray Liotta, and even Julie Haggerty from the Airplane movie. Yeah, it's not really a marriage story. It's a divorce story, but I guess that's kind of the irony of the title. Noah Baumbach has a weird way of mixing drama and heavy moments with comedy and doing it at a very delicate and perfect level. And that's something that was very prevalent in this movie and worked so well and helped not dehumanize everybody. It did well at balancing sides. You kind of felt for each one and understood why they felt the way they did. It was very good at being neutral, and fuck, dude, it's just good. It's just really good. Number 3 on my list, another Netflix film, The Irishman. Seth and I were lucky enough to see this in theaters, and then I watched it again. I mean, I couldn't even resist this 3.5-hour movie. I could not resist watching it again. Who knows if we probably won't get De Niro, Pesci, Al Pacino all together again with Scorsese. Truly a monumental film as far as film history and the greats of cinema. And kind of convoluted. I wasn't always aware of what was going on, but I was always invested. It's something that may need multiple viewings or may require you look up some of the history of it to understand, because there's a lot of Italian names being thrown around and it's hard to keep up with all the time. It's just a very engrossing story. For a 3.5 hour movie, there's not always going to be something going on, but there was always something that kept your interest. You were always engaged in the story and the characters and where it was going to go. One of my issues that I thought I might have would be the de-aging, but they did a very, very good job with the de-aging. I thought it might take me out if it wasn't good, but there are times you can definitely tell, but it's not too distracting. What is a little distracting is when you've got 70, 80-year-old Robert De Niro trying to kick some guy's ass, and you can tell he's an old man trying to do it. But if that's the biggest gripe, it's not really a gripe at all. This is a masterful movie from masterful filmmakers, and I just absolutely love it. Number 2 on my list, Bong Joon-ho's Parasite. This is a movie best left with less information. The less you know, the better. I went in pretty much blind, and I'm happy I did. It's about class struggle. It's about a poor family that wants to trying to make money, so they kind of infiltrate a rich family, and things kind of go haywire, and that's all you really need to know. It's so beautifully paced, so great to look at, so entertaining. The performances are incredible. It's such a unique movie. I haven't seen Memories of a Murder or Mother yet, but this is my favorite Bong Joon-ho film, and it's one that I will watch over and over just because of how well crafted it is as a film, and how much it just, I don't know, it's something that I'm still thinking about, and I'm just waiting for that Blu-ray to come out to check it out again, because it was a stunning movie, and that's why it's my number 2. My number 1, I'm sure a lot of you have figured it out by now if you know anything about us in this channel, but my list is not too different from a lot of people's, but my number 1 is The Lighthouse. A movie that could have easily gone into pretentious territory that I don't think did. I think that's the difference between Robert Eggers, director of The Lighthouse, versus Ari Aster, director of Midsommar, is one feels pretentious and one doesn't. One feels a little more restrained and more well-crafted than the other. Not that this is like a pissing contest, but those are 2 films that came out this year, 2 horror thriller films that came out this year. And just even from the start, The Lighthouse feels like an old movie. The aspect ratio, the grading, the black and white, the sets, it feels like something from a long time ago, something from history. And it's another movie that, just like The Witch, I want to watch again with subtitles to really pick up on all of the stuff I may not have seen the first time. Fantastic music. It was a movie that I built up so much in my head and actually paid off, and I'm happy it did. Love this movie. Robert Eggers is killing it. The performances by Willem and Robert were fantastic, and both should be nominated, but I hope either one gets it. There's a lot that the movie says about loneliness, sexuality, I don't know, maybe mental illness as well. Yeah, very well-crafted movie from a guy that's really showing he's a guy to watch. You need to watch this guy. How about you watch this guy? You need to watch this guy. Watch this guy's films. You need to watch him. Robert Eggers. Robert Eggers. Another year, another list of movies, fantastic movies. This year has given us some classics that maybe we'll look back on as some great films that will stand the test of time, that will go down as some of the greats in cinema. The best thing we have as far as film is time to let things marinate, time to let things age, and time to let us appreciate them. And I think a lot of these films from this year will be those that will go down in history and we'll be able to appreciate years from now. Let me know down below you guys' top 10. Really enjoyed putting this list together and watching these movies. With all that being said, thank you guys as always for watching, and we'll see you next time.